Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited for today's video. We are going to be doing another one of your requests, and today we are going to be talking about my top favorite or most used makeup products outside of my Project Pan products. So all of the products that I'm going to be talking to you about today are not currently products that I am working on actively in a project pan. So these are just products that I naturally reach for outside of them being in a project, and some of my most worn products this year, again, that I'm not working on in project pans. So these are like tippity top favorite products, at least right now. So I'm super excited to talk to you guys about all of them. I have at least one product in every category to chit chat with you guys about. So if you're interested in hearing about some of my favorite products that I'm not working on in project pans, but I'm still actively reaching for quite frequently, stay tuned. First, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel and you like project panning content, palette themed content, or just chit chatting about makeup, I'd love if you'd consider subscribing before moving on. And other than that, let's jump into the video. All right, you guys, I have all of these products laid out in front of me, and I tried to lay them out like in order that I would do my makeup. I tried to really just choose like one product per category. But for like bronzer, I have like a cream bronzer and then a powder bronzer. And for highlights, I have a cream highlight and then like a pink highlight and a champagne highlight. And then when we get to lips, there's a lot. So let's just start with primer. My most reached for primer right now that is not currently a part of a project pan is my Hard Candy Sheer Envy Hydrating Primer. This is a really great option if you are looking for a primer that's going to grip your makeup yet still feel hydrating. And the best part about this is it is a drugstore product. I picked mine up at Walmart, and I think you can get this for somewhere between like $6 to $8. I have really been enjoying this. I first was going through all of my e.l.f. primers this year, and when I finished up all of my e.l.f. primers, this was the next one that I started reaching for. This is the last gripping primer I have left in my collection. And when I finish this, I honestly would repurchase it. I am considering purchasing or repurchasing the LYS gripping primer, just because that is truly like glue on your face. But if you are looking for something even less expensive than LYS, I would highly, highly recommend this one from Hard Candy. For foundation, this is by far my most reached for foundation outside of a project pan, and I have fallen in love with this foundation this year. And it is another drugstore product, which is really rare for me. Normally I just typically prefer high-end, but this is the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Foundation. I have mine in the shade W3 Warm Light Medium, and I love this foundation. It is like my perfect finish in that it is more of like a light to medium coverage, but just like this natural finish with like a healthy skin like glow to the face. Not too matte, not too glowy, and it's just perfect. It is so easy to blend out. It feels so lightweight on the skin. It does not feel heavy. It does not sink into fine lines. It does not sink into my lines like really bad throughout the day, and it has a really, really good wear time. So I find myself reaching for this quite a bit. For concealer, I will say I am mostly reaching for my, I almost said PowerPoint, for my Project Pan concealer, but my Project Pan concealer is a little bit too deep for me, so I'm often mixing it with my Kosas Revealer concealer, which this is my second revealer concealer. I absolutely love this. So if I wasn't project panning at all, I guarantee this would be my most reached for concealer. It is the perfect like medium. You could build it to full coverage. It's hydrating underneath the eyes. It doesn't look too full coverage. It's really thin in consistency, so it doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't look heavy. It doesn't look cakey. And I just love this one. I will say my first revealer concealer, the packaging broke on mine, and I've heard many other people complain about that. So it's something to be leery of. I haven't had any issues thus far with my second tube, but this is still a tippity top favorite concealer in my collection. For powder, I thought about doing like a loose powder and a pressed powder, but I don't reach for a loose powder all that frequently. So I have two pressed powders to talk to you about. So up first, I have the number 7 Lift and Illuminate. Now granted, this is one of the products that I wanted to be a focus product this year, but it is not currently in any of my projects, and I have made really great progress on this. I'm hopeful that potentially I could finish this by the end of the year, and this is usually what I'm using to set underneath my eyes. It is a really, really nice, very thin, not heavy powder. Very comparable to the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush powder. I have quite a few other powders in my collection right now, so I don't know that I will run out to the store to go repurchase this when I finish it, but it is definitely one of my most used powders of this year. And then I also just wanted to shout out my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Luminous Light Powder. I have been actively, like, unofficially trying to pan this. It's another focus product of the year, but I have recently fallen back in love with this product. This is a product that I go really hot and cold with, and right now I have just been loving, I don't know why I ever go cold with this, because I love the finish that it gives to the skin. It just gives this like airbrushed finish where it kind of just smooths everything together and gives you this really like healthy glow to the skin that I just absolutely love. I don't know if I'll be able to finish this one this year. We'll see. I think I will. And I recently purchased the like not quad, it's like the there's 3 different, I don't know what I'm saying. It's a face palette with 3 different Hourglass powders. So I have more of that to go when I finish this full size, which has been my collection for so long, but it is definitely something I'm reaching for just about every day right now. Okay, moving on to bronzer, or maybe we can talk about setting spray next, just because usually then I'll like at least mist my face with the MAC Fix Plus. I can't tell you how many bottles of MAC Fix Plus I've gone through. It is just my favorite spray for when I'm trying to melt my powders together. It's not my like end all spray. It's not like the spray I use at the end of my makeup, but it is the spray that I use as I'm applying my makeup to melt everything together. This has just been my staple and go-to for years. My current most used like locking powder is the Cali Ray Sunproof Setting Spray. This I like. I do feel like this does a really nice job of locking my makeup in and really, really making it last. But my one complaint about this spray is that it smells like a wet dog. Like, do you guys know that like very distinctive, your dog was just outside like playing either in the rain, playing in the sprinkler, you maybe just got back from like being at the beach with your dog and it just like smells like wet dog. That is literally what this smells like. It locks my makeup in and it doesn't like stay, it doesn't linger, but like as you're spraying it, that is exactly what it smells like in my opinion. If you've tried that, let me know if you think it smells like wet dog as well. Okay, moving on to bronzer. My most used powder bronzer, which I have been focused on a couple bronzers in my project pans this year, but outside of my project, this bronzing brick from Victoria Beckham has actually been my most reached for and most used. I think this is absolutely beautiful. I have mine in the shade 3, which is for the warm side is sand and the contour side is soul. I mostly actually mix the 2 of these together. The contour side isn't like so gray toned that it looks like ashy on the skin, and mixing them together I actually just absolutely love. I have fallen in love with the bronzing brick this year, and thank goodness, because this was so expensive, but definitely my most reached for bronzer outside of my projects this year. And then for my cream bronzer, it is absolutely the NARS Laguna bronzer. This is my favorite, I believe this is my favorite cream bronzer in my collection. I did really fall in love with the Chanel one as I was working on that in a project, but I do really like the NARS Sun-Kissed Bronzing Cream. This is really pigmented, so you can build this up to be pretty heavy, or you can really sheer this out. But the first time I went in with this, I was like, this is gonna be way too dark for me. But then I sheared it out and I just absolutely love this. I am kind of interested in picking up the lightest shade. When I first purchased this, it was when they first released this and it was limited edition, and I think they only had like 1 or 2 shades at the time. They have now expanded to like 4 or 6, and I feel like Lauren Mae Beauty raised about the lightest shade, so I'd be interested in picking that up for like winter time to see how it looks on my skin. Okay, for blush, my most reached for cream / liquid blush this year outside of my project pans is actually my Bite Beauty Melon Mojito Cream Blush. I feel like I've reached for this so much this year. It's in the shade Daycation. I will say earlier this year, I was really into a pink blush. Now I'm kind of really into like a peachy blush. I mean, kind of goes with the seasons. But I was just so into a pink blush. So I would love to like layer this put this down and then layer it with another blush. I also like that this has a bit of like a sheen or a glow to it, and you can really sheer this out to just be like a natural sort of blush. Perfect for like you're going in with really light makeup but you want just like the slightest pinky glow to the cheek. It's so pretty. Granted, you can't do this anymore, I'm so sorry, but definitely my most reached for. And then for powder, I had to go with two, and I've talked about this combo many a time on my channel, but definitely my most reached for outside of face palettes, because I have been reaching for any NARS face palette. I'm not going to pull them all out, but literally any NARS face palette. I've reached for at least probably a NARS face palette 3 times a week when I'm doing my makeup. But outside of that, the combination of the Lawless Make Me Blush in the shade Angel Suede, which is this really beautiful matte pink, kind of almost like a reddy pink. And then on top of that, because I do like a glowier complexion, I like to layer it with Nabla Truth, which is this really beautiful glowy pink blush. And I just absolutely love the combo. Worn this so much this year, so had to shout that out. For highlight, my most reached for cream highlight. Granted, I have been working on trying to finish this product, this RMS quad this year, but even like, I need to finish this because it's really starting to smell like I'm so close. But my favorite cream highlight I think that I've ever used is the NARS, why do I keep saying, I filmed a couple videos today and I keep saying NARS for literally any and all brands. But the RMS quad, the Living Luminizer in the shade Champagne Rosé, I need to purchase it in a full size. I would like to finish a couple, like maybe like mid next year, I'll purchase it, but it's so beautiful because I do love a more pink toned highlight, and it's my dream highlight. But this is my most reached for cream highlight. There's 3 that came in this quad. It came with Champagne Rosé, the Magic Luminizer, as well as the Living Luminizer, and then I've also been trying to finish the bronzer. I need to finish that very soon. Okay, and then I went with a pink highlight as well as like a champagne highlight, just because I wanted to talk about both. So my Bobbi Brown Pink Glow highlight, it's been a favorite for so long. You guys know I've talked like at length about this highlight. I will find any excuse to talk about this highlight. It's such a beautiful pink highlight, and because there's like an icier part to it up top, it's really customizable to, like, you know, it works for me in the winter as well as the summer months. So love this so much. This mini I've had for over 5 years, I think. And it only has a pan because I thought this was I literally feel like I could use this over 500 times as a highlight and it still wouldn't be an empty, is the short version of what I was about to say. My favorite, most reached for champagne highlight right now of this year, of this moment, is the Rem Beauty Miss Mercury highlight. It is this really, really beautiful, more subtle champagne highlight. It looks really intense there, but you really can sheer this out just to be like the most beautiful lit from within glow, and I absolutely love it. I have been heavily focused on my Becca Rose Quartz highlight this year, so I have not shown the love to my highlight collection that it deserves, but I'm almost done with Becca Rose Quartz, and then I'm really excited to just start cycling through my highlight collection. I don't plan to put another highlight in a project maybe the rest of the year, to be honest, just so I can really focus on using my highlight collection. But I love Miss Mercury. It's like one of my favorite products from REM. I don't feel like I've liked a lot from the brand, but I really like that highlight. Okay, moving on to eyes. I did not pull an eyeshadow palette just because I don't have, outside of like my, like I've obviously used my ABH Sultry so much because it's my pan that palette, but I don't have like a most used palette outside of that. I just try and use, like, cycle through my palette collection. But one eyeshadow type of product I wanted to just shout out is the Kaja stack in the shade Chocolate Dahlia. On days that I literally have 5 minutes to get ready for work, this is my go-to product, and I specifically reach into this middle shade, this matte brown shade, and if I have 7 minutes, maybe I will top that with the top, like lid topper shade. It's so beautiful. It's so easy for on the go. This has come traveling with me so much, and it's just such an easy product to like reach for. I have been reaching for my CashApp stacks quite a bit this year. They've also sent me some of their CashApp stacks, and I've fallen head over heels in love with the CashApp stacks this year. So I wanted to shout those out. My most reached for eyeliner is my Ilia eyeliner, and this is just because it's like the oldest dark brown eyeliner in my collection right now. This is in the shade Dusk. Day to day, I love just a dark brown eyeliner in my waterline. This is what I have in my waterline today. Nothing special. I honestly would just recommend, if you're looking for a great dark brown eyeliner, I would recommend the Essence eyeliner pencil in the shade 2 But First Espresso. Now that is a true pencil, whereas this Ilia one is kind of like a twist up crayon. This one's really great, but you do not have to pay this much when you can get a $3 one from Essence. For my eyeshadow primers, I've been reaching for this one from NARS. It's the smudge proof eyeshadow base, which I've really been enjoying. And then for a glitter glue, I have been using the NYX glitter primer. I do like to tightline almost every day, unless it's just like a really easy, if I'm like just using the CashApp stack, I'm likely not tightlining. But the liner that has gotten the most use, it was the Bite Beauty, but I finished that up and now I need a replacement for that because you can't get it anymore. But I have also been loving the CashApp Wing Stamp wing eyeliner pen. You buy this in a set with like an actual wing stamp. Love that product so much because it really helps me create wings, which I'm not very good at, but I use this all the time, so wanted to shout that out. For mascara, it's really just whatever mascara I am currently trying to use. My favorite mascara of all time is the Ilia Limitless mascara, Limitless Lash Mascara. Definitely more expensive, but in my opinion, I do think it's worth it. If I had no mascara in my collection, I would just continually rebuy the Ilia Limitless because it's just like, I love to cocktail and layer my mascaras. Usually I'm using like at least 2 to 3 mascaras at a time. But with the Ilia Limitless, like if that was my only mascara, I could make it work. But I also wanted to shout this one out from MAC. And actually, I don't know what this one is called. This is the shape of it. I'm not sure what this one is called. When I first started using this, I wasn't loving it. But now that it's dried out a bit, I absolutely love this one. It kind of reminds me a little bit, like the wand reminds me slightly of the Urban Decay Lash Freak, just because the top of it has like this ball tip. It's like these really short bristles. And it just does such a nice job, like especially for the lower lash line, of just like separating and lengthening the lashes. And then the way that it can brush through and separate the lashes on the top as well while still adding volume. I really like this one from MAC. I will have to figure out which one this is and I'll link it down below. But again, I didn't love it at first because it was like too wet, but now that it's dried out a bit, love it. My brow routine is the NYX brow glue. Love this. I have the tinted one, but I also really like just the clear one. It's my favorite brow glue. And then I also like the NYX Microfine brow pencil, just to at least like trace my brows out. And then my favorite tinted brow gel, usually I like to use this just to like actually like glue my brows into place, but the Undone Beauty brow duo, I don't have it in my collection right now. I do plan to repurchase it at some point, but that product is literally so good. My favorite tinted brow product ever. So that would be like my perfect most reach for brow routine. And then we are gonna end with lips. So for lipstick, I just have one. It is the Milani lipstick in the shade Tease. This is like my perfect nude shade. I like something that's a little bit more brown in tone and a little bit more cool toned. So the shade Tease is just absolutely perfect in my opinion. Liquid lipstick, I'm not reaching for that frequently, but I have found myself reaching for the Kaja Love Swipes quite a bit this year, and this one is specifically in the shade Swipe Right, which is, again, I do love a brown lip. So there is Swipe Right right there. It's a little bit more warm toned than the Milani lipstick, but I like the Love Swipes because it's more of this like moussey texture. It's not really drying on the lips by any means, and it'll stain the lips a little bit. It's not gonna be like a super long wearing like liquid lipstick. It's more of just like almost like a satin lip stain, kind of like a cream lip stain. Like it kind of reminds me of like oh my gosh, like a powder kiss sort of like situation for the finish, and it's just much more comfortable than like a standard liquid lipstick. And then for lip gloss, it's so hard because I love lip gloss so much, but my top 4 current like gloss slash lip oil recommendations, you truly cannot go wrong with the Clarins lip oil. I know it's so expensive, but truly the Clarins lip oil formula is by far the best lip oil I have ever tried. I love it so much. I highly, highly recommend it. I will continue to spend the $28 on it. Love it. Lawless Forget the Filler. If you are looking for a lip plumping gloss, this is my highest recommendation. It is not going to be like this painful situation on your lips. It has a slightly like cooling minty sensation, but nothing too intense. But it really is just gonna like, here, I'm gonna put on, I'm gonna put on the Juicy Watermelon shade. I have so many shades of this, you guys. It really just makes your lips so glossy and juicy, and like evens out any like lip lines that you might have. And I just freaking adore this formula so much. I highly recommend it. If you like the like extreme intense lip plumpers, this is not going to be for you. But if you want something that's going to make your lips look juicy and like plump in a juicy way but not like a painful way, check out the Lawless Forget the Filler. Then we all know how much I love the Tower 28 lip jellies. I will say it's not the most long-lasting lip gloss formula, but like it's beautiful. It's gonna make your lips look glossy, and it's just, I love it so much, especially the shade Chill. If you're looking for a clear gloss, highly recommend from Tower 28. I didn't grab these, but we all know I love also Fenty Gloss Bomb as well as the Kosas lip oils, but my last lip product most used is the Kosas, or no, not the Kosas, the Kopari lip glossy. I have, if the Kopari lip glossy is available in like a 3-pack, especially a new one that I haven't owned, I'm always buying the Kopari lip glossy 3-packs. I have Kopari lip glossies everywhere. I have them in my car, I have them in my desk, I have them in my nightstand, I have them at my desk at work, I have them like in the kitchen as I'm cooking. Like Kopari lip glossy is just like where it's at for just like an easy reach lip gloss. So you truly can't go wrong. But after that, I'm literally like out of breath. Those are my most reached for makeup products outside of makeup that I am currently project panning. If you're interested in checking out any of my project pans, I will leave those linked in the description box down below, so go check those out if you're interested. But I would love to know, what are your most reached for makeup products in your collection? Let a girl know in the comments below. Other than that, thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch today's video and for supporting my channel as you guys always do. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.